It has been over 30 years since Stephen Covey published The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and it remains the Bible of personal development. Most productivity books today are just rewriting what Covey wrote decades ago. But this is not a book about hacks or shortcuts. Covey argues that true effectiveness doesn't come from a to-do list app. It comes from character ethic. You cannot change the fruit without changing the root. This video breaks down the 3 most critical habits that move you from dependence to independence. The first habit is be proactive. This sounds like a buzzword, but Covey means something specific. He draws a distinction between your circle of concern and your circle of influence. The circle of concern includes things like the weather, politics, and what people think of you. The circle of influence includes your habits, your responses, and your work. Reactive people focus on the circle of concern. They complain about things they cannot change, which makes them feel powerless. Proactive people focus only on the circle of influence. They do not blame their circumstances, they blame their response to those circumstances. The second habit is begin with the end in mind. Covey asks you to perform a morbid visualization. Imagine you are at a funeral. You walk down the aisle, look in the casket, and see yourself. What do you want your friends to say about you? What about your family? Your colleagues? This is not just about goal setting, it is about values. If you want to be remembered as a good father, but you are working 80 hours a week, you are violating this habit. You are climbing a ladder, only to realize it is leaning against the wrong wall. You must define the destination before you start running. The third habit is put first things first. This is where the famous Eisenhower matrix comes from. Covey argues we spend too much time in Quadrant 1, urgent and important, and Quadrant 3, urgent but not important. Quadrant 1 is crisis management, fires you have to put out. Quadrant 3 is interruptions, emails, calls, meetings. But the magic happens in Quadrant 2, not urgent, but important. This is exercise, planning, relationship building, and learning. These things do not scream for your attention, so we ignore them. But these are the only things that actually prevent the crises in the first place. Effective people schedule their Quadrant 2 activities first and fit everything else around them. The final shift is realizing that independence is not the goal. Interdependence is. Once you master yourself, you must learn to work with others. This requires win-win thinking. Most people think life is a zero-sum game. If I win, you lose. Covey argues that in the long run, win-lose deals always become lose-lose because the losing party will eventually retaliate or leave. True effectiveness is the ability to build systems where everyone benefits. If you can't find a win-win, the best alternative is no deal.